Southern Tennessee Regional Health System. Pulaski is here to help you be well. Our mission is to make our community healthier, and we're your community hospital. We're committed to providing trusted care when you need it most. From wellness checks to emergencies, we're here for you and your family. Visit us today at southerntennessee.com or call 931-363-7531.
When it comes to real estate, Haney Realty and Property Management is the team you can trust. Our extensive knowledge of the market and industry allows us to help our clients with any real estate need. We know how to get results. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, or rent, let us put our expertise to work for you. Call us today at 931-347-9150 or visit HaneyRealtyPM.com to learn more. Haney Realty and Property Management, your best friend in real estate. If you're looking for a new job, let M&M Staffing be your guide. With over 20 years of experience, we know how to connect great people with great opportunities. We work with over 80 companies, so we're sure to find the perfect job for you. Our team is dedicated to helping you succeed, and our high customer satisfaction rate proves it. Ready to get started? Visit us at mnmstaffing.net or give us a call today at 931-347-4255.
For over 50 years, PES Energize has been proudly powering our community in Pulaski and Giles County, Tennessee. We're more than just an electric utility. We also offer internet, TV, and phone services. Our commitment to our customers and our community is what sets us apart. We're dedicated to providing safe, reliable, and innovative services. At PES Energize, we believe that serving you is a privilege. We're here for all your energy needs. Visit PESEnergize.com or call us.
The Natural Gas Department of Pulaski is here to help you save money. Natural gas is safe, efficient, and cost-effective. It's up to 50 to 60% less expensive than electricity for home heating. Plus, it's clean and efficient, so you can feel good about your choice. Call us today for service or visit our website to learn more. Make the switch to natural gas and start saving today.
When it comes to insurance, Winterburr & Associates Insurance is the team you can trust. We offer coverage for your home, auto, business, and more. We work hard to find the best policy for you at the best price. Our personalized service means we take the time to understand your needs and make sure you understand your options. We want you to feel confident and secure with your insurance policy. Let us make insurance simple for you. Get a quote today at winterburrinsurance.com or call us at 931-363-8638.
Southern Tennessee Regional Health System. Pulaski is here to help you be well. Our mission is to make our community healthier, and we're your community hospital. We're committed to providing trusted care when you need it most. From wellness checks to emergencies, we're here for you and your family. Visit us today at southerntennessee.com or call 931-363-7531.
When it comes to real estate, Haney Realty and Property Management is the team you can trust. Our extensive knowledge of the market and industry allows us to help our clients with any real estate need. We know how to get results. So whether you're looking to buy, sell, or rent, let us put our expertise to work for you. Call us today at 931-347-9150 or visit HaneyRealtyPM.com to learn more. Haney Realty and Property Management, your best friend in real estate. If you're looking for a new job, let M&M Staffing be your guide. With over 20 years of experience, we know how to connect great people with great opportunities. We work with over 80 companies, so we're sure to find the perfect job for you. Our team is dedicated to helping you succeed, and our high customer satisfaction rate proves it. Ready to get started? Visit us at mnmstaffing.net or give us a call today at 931-347-4255.
For over 50 years, PES Energize has been proudly powering our community in Pulaski and Giles County, Tennessee. We're more than just an electric utility. We also offer internet, TV, and phone services. Our commitment to our customers and our community is what sets us apart. We're dedicated to providing safe, reliable, and innovative services. At PES Energize, we believe that serving you is a privilege. We're here for all your energy needs. Visit PESEnergize.com or
The
call us
Natural
today.
Gas Department of Pulaski is here to help you save money. Natural gas is safe, efficient, and cost-effective. It's up to 50 to 60% less expensive than electricity for home heating. Plus, it's clean and efficient, so you can feel good about your choice. Call us today for service or visit our website to learn more. Make the switch to natural gas and start saving today.
When it comes to insurance, Winterburn and Associates Insurance is the team you can trust. We offer coverage for your home, auto, business, and more. We work hard to find the best policy for you at the best price. Our personalized service means we take the time to understand your needs and make sure you understand your options. We want you to feel confident and secure with your insurance policy. Let us make insurance simple for you. Get a quote today at winterburinsurance.com or call us at 931-363-8638.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is April 9th, 2024. I'd like to call this meeting of the Board of Mayor and Alderman to order. Please rise and join Mr. Massey for the prayer.
Let us pray. Precious Holy Father, ruler, make of all things, Father, whether living or non-living. Father, how blessed we are to have you as a God, a Father who laid us down last night. And Father, it was you who woke us up this morning. Father, nothing in this life we do ourselves. It's only done because you allow us, and we want to take this time to acknowledge that. We also want to thank you for allowing us to be born in this great country, a great country that we recognize as the United States of America, a country where we can freely and openly worship you, Father, without fear of prosecution. Father, as always, we want to thank the brave men and women who fight to keep this country safe, so that we can exercise those families, so we can exercise those freedoms, being away from their families, putting their lives in jeopardy for us. Father, we thank them for that. And Father, we want to thank the citizens who put their trust in us to vote us as elected officials. And Father, as we go forward in this meeting, we pray we make you proud, make our citizens proud, and everything we do here be well pleasing in your sight. In the name of the Father and the Son, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Massey, as always. First item of business today is to approve the last regular meeting and work session. If there are no additions or moving on, item number 2 is to receive and file city recorder and various committee reports.
Do we file these reports?
We have a motion made by Mr. Massey,
I'll second.
a second by Mr. Keith. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3 is concerned citizen remarks regarding today's agenda items. Seeing that we have none, we'll go into item number 4 is consider amending the Speed Vet Fest Prairie permit for May 18, 2024. Mr. Harrison.
Yeah, I believe what they did is amended this to add in Kitchen 218, but other than that, it's in order.
They did them together last year.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve this
Second.
amendment.
We have a motion by Mr. Keith and a second by Mr. Worsham. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Massey. Worsham.
Aye.
Keith.
Aye.
Bryant.
Aye.
Brindley.
Aye. Item number 5 is to consider application for a parade permit from UT Southern Cross Country for July 20th, 24.
And this is something they've been doing the last couple of years. I guess it's a fundraiser for their program, and it's in order also.
I move we approve this permit.
A motion made by Mr. Massey,
Second.
second by Mr. Worsham. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Massey,
Aye.
Worsham, Keith,
Aye.
Bryant, Brindley.
Aye. Item number 6 is consider ordinance on first reading relative to amending the municipal code. Mr. Harrison.
I think Andy has had some conversation with the chief. The last amendment to this document was updating some of the fines that we can charge a municipal court.
We've tried to make that uniform throughout the county, and bringing the Pulaski code book up to snuff as to where we were on those things. And those were some of the things that MTS had suggested us to review. So it wasn't just out of the blue. I sought out the chief and suggested we make those revisions.
Is that what you?
And I would recommend that.
Will we have to have this, or is that what, is our action codifying it, or will we have to have it codified by the state after we?
No, once we codify it, they will prepare our book.
Oh, okay.
ahead of it. So,
Okay.
And that's what you have updated.
and that's right. And there's a number of things about the book that are being updated.
And a lot of them were cleanup, as I understand, and deletion. So I make a motion that we adopt this amendment to the municipal code.
I second that.
All right, we have a motion made by Mr. Keith and a second by Mr. Massey. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Massey,
Aye.
Miles,
Aye.
Worsham, Keith,
Aye.
Bryant, Brindley.
Aye.
We need to set that public.
Yeah, when he set the public hearing, I guess for 4/23, 24, 12:05.
Yes.
Item number 7 is to authorize sale of 4 trucks on govdeals.com. Mr. Harrison.
These are just surplus vehicles we've got. We've recently replaced some, and so we need to get rid of the old vehicles.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion made by Mr. Keith and a second by Mrs. Miles. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Massey,
Aye.
Miles,
Aye.
Worsham, Keith,
Aye.
Bryant, Brindley.
Item number 8 is to authorize advertisement for bids on gas line for the natural gas department.
We've got a gas line, it's a 2-inch steel pipe down on Perkins Street that we were looking at getting replaced, and we got some estimates on it, and it's over our bid limit, so we're just asking permission to put it out for bid, to replace that gas line.
I move that we approve that.
I'll say.
Motion by Mr. Keith, second by Mr. Bryant. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Massey,
Aye.
Miles,
Aye.
Worsham, Keith,
Aye.
Bryant, Brindley.
Item number 9 is the adopt resolution relative to amending the 12 million waste and sewer bond issue.
I explained to you this at the work session. We borrowed that money for these capital projects several years ago in a 36-month draw period. That period has elapsed. We've requested to make the final draw. In order to do so, we had to renegotiate this. And so we've got the paperwork ready. We'll make the draw if y'all approve it this afternoon.
How many draws have we got left before that'll be liquidated?
One, we're gonna draw it all down.
Yeah, that's good, because that way we won't have to pay that interest on it.
We'll draw it all down.
Okay, good. I move that we approve this $12 million,
Amending that.
amend this $12 million.
I'll second that.
We have a motion made by Mr. Massey and a second by Mr. Keith. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Massey. Miles.
Aye.
Worsham. Keith. Bryant.
Aye.
Brindley.
Item number 10 is the adopt resolution relative to filing the grant application for the purchase of a ladder truck for the fire department. Mr. Harrison.
And we've discussed this in the past too. This will be a community development block grant. We successfully closed out the old grant that we had on the I-9, which allows us to apply again. So we're applying for, and I think this year on equipment, we get up to, I think it's $525,000.
How much would one of these new trucks cost?
Between 1.5 and $2 million.
The grant gonna pretty well take care of most of it, isn't it?
We're going to try. Jamie's worked real hard.
We're working on another grant that would get us another $1 million on top of that.
I moved to apply for this grant.
Second.
We have a motion made by Mr. Massey and a second by Mrs. Miles. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Massey.
Aye.
Miles.
Aye.
Worsham. Keith. Bryant.
Aye.
Brindley.
Good job, Chief Harris, for following up on all that. That's good for those grants. Item number 11 is property hearings. The first one we have is Mr. Larry Hayes. If you want to step up here, Mr. Hayes, be fine, sir. Chief, how do we do this?
You can. I guess this is coming off having the hearing on Monday at the work session, and the two properties that Mr. Hayes had, you have that before you in those packets, and there should be photographs included in that for each one of you. And I think the position was that you felt like that they should be removed by him, and then it's here for y'all's consideration to take action today on these two properties.
And, ladies and gentlemen, with respect to the ordinance that's passed, I'm passing a copy around to you, just so you'll have that today. There are two decisions to be made, on the third page of the ordinance. After hearing, the presentation by the chief and any response that Mr. Hayes, chooses to provide, this board can make a determination that, this property is fit for human habitation or it is unfit for human habitation. If you find that it's unfit, you would be voting to direct in this case, the city administrator, to issue an order showing such findings and giving a period of time for the property owner to remove the structure. If that is not done within the time afforded by the city, then the city may, at its own expense, demolish and remove the structure. And if Mr. Hayes feels aggrieved by this and wishes to, he has a right to go to Chancery.
And then that cost will be passed on to the
That will be passed on to him. Yes, sir.
Andy, do we need to adopt this?
It's already adopted. I just went over.
Oh, okay. So,
I did not have the signed copy.
I got you.
That is the ordinance that was adopted.
Okay, I thought it was, but I wasn't sure what we were looking at. Okay.
What Mr. Hayes want to do is, can he be allowed 90 days to,
Trying to save my property. I don't want to go down. I don't want to sell my property. I would like to have the time to first get the roof, first find somebody to do the work and then get the roofs on first and then go from there, I mean, I know I've had a lot of time to start this and do this and I've been sitting on my butt, but now I see it's really serious. If y'all want to tear my property down, I'd rather, because I got money and I got a couple of 401ks, that I can use to fix the properties up. I don't want them tore down, so if I could get some more time to get started on them. And I don't know how far I have to get for y'all to approve it, because 90 days ain't gonna be enough time to complete the whole thing, But I'd like to get started on them anyway, first of all, by putting new roofs on them. And that would get me started. And after that, I could have sheetrocks and have somebody come wide and all that. And I know 90 days ain't gonna be enough time to do both houses, So I'm just wondering if I can get some more time to do that before if I can't get them done in the 90 days, then, you know, I ain't got no problem with them getting towed down, you know.
Well, let me correct you on one thing. I think I can speak for this board. We don't want to tear down your house. What we're concerned about is old and dilapidated properties. We don't want them here in town.
Okay.
That's what we don't want. And we don't want to tear it. We want you to fix it. I think, from my point of view, I want you to fix it like you want to. But it hadn't been done in so long. That's why we're here now.
Another thing, Mr. Hayes, we're concerned about too is, especially with your properties close to Washington Heights, a lot of children in the area, you know, it's just, we don't want it to be a hazard to kids going in and out or, you know, transients or anything. They might set it on fire. You just never know.
Yeah, that's why I got it boarded up pretty good, the doors locked and stuff, but you know, that's why I'm saying, you know, if I can have some more time, this 90 days, to get started on it, you know, to get the roof on it and then gut it and then go back, you know, but see, like I said, the 90 days ain't enough time for everybody to come in and do the work, you know. I mean, I can get started, I can lay the blocks, get the roof off, fill a hole in, you know, and make it safe where, so the kids, you know, won't be able to get through it.
Mayor, my opinion is giving my opinion, is let's give him 90 days, and if he proves, if he puts a roof on it, then we'll give him another 90.
Here's
I'm just my opinion.
Here's my only thing, and I want to work with Mr. Hayes. Just like Mr. Bryant did speak for us, we don't want to be in the business of having to tear down these houses. But you've owned this property for 20 plus years or whatever it's been, and now we're coming back up in front and saying, hey, I need 90 days. And you just said, you know, you can't get all this done in 90 days. You know, if we were to give you 90 days, you know, are you saying, you know, the house behind Bridgeforth School, that's your house, right? Do you have one behind Bridgeforth?
No.
Okay.
Kids are up on Washington.
Okay, no, the whole, all right, we gotta act on them, you know, and if you know, if I'm hearing the board, they're saying you're going to give you 90 days, what are you gonna get done in 90 days? Because we can't just come in here and say, I need 90 more days, I need 90 more days after that. We've got to, this is something that Pulaski's got to stand on and make this happen.
That's what I want to try to get them both up where y'all will say, well, yeah, Mr. Hayes, you can have more time. And I want to get them so y'all can come in and look at them and say, yeah, Mr. Hayes, I'll give you more time to get contractors to come in and do the sheet rock and wine, whatever needs to be done, you know. But I want to make sure, I mean, like I said, the house on the hill up there, the one that burned, you know, I want to get a roof on that. That's the first one I'd work on. Get the blocks laid, get the whole field back in, and then, you know, because I got so much stuff in the basement of that house, you know, and I just ain't got nowhere else to store it for right now. You know, I got tools, all kind of stuff in it, but that's why I want to try to save my property instead of get them towed down, you know, because, I mean, it's not that, you know, I bought the properties to make a little money off of them in the past, but, you know, after I went through the fire and stuff like that, you know, I just kind of lost heart, you know, but now I see y'all serious about tearing my stuff down, so I want to try to have at least 90 days to try to bring it back up to par, you know, to where y'all approve.
Tell me what you can accomplish in 90 days.
Well, see, if I could find something, I mean,
and no disrespect, but I can't work out who you can
okay,
find.
all right.
What you can get done in 90 days.
I can get the roof put back on and get the blocks laid and get the whole field back in, you know, because I was going to add on, but, you know, that's a dream that's gone back. But, you know, and then after that, you know, I can put doors on it and get the new window put back in the front, you know, I can get that done. And then after that, you know, it's going to have to be sheetrocked again. And since it was a fire, I would like to get it rewired again. And, so if I can get the roof on and get the windows in and get the blocks laid and whole field in, that would be a start on the house on the hill. But on the second house, if I can get the roof put back on, that'll give me time to do that too. I want to remodel that one on the inside also. But, you know, the 90 days,
Let me say this, Larry.
okay.
Terry, Mr. Harris said that he's our building inspector.
Mm-hmm.
What'll be a shame is that, because you mentioned your 401k
Mm-hmm.
and pulling other money out of your account,
Mm-hmm.
for you to go and spend all this money on trying to rehab this house, and then 90 days come, the building inspector come and look at it and say, this is not working. And you done put all that money out and put it in it. Now you done waste your 401k money,
Mm-hmm.
now it's still gotta be tore down. I'm just looking at it from that point of view. That's what you don't want.
Yeah.
Are there any, is power to any of these houses?
No.
No.
So you'll automatically have to have, if you were, you have to have power to them. So when you go put power to it, you're gonna have to have the, an inspection from the electric company, and it's not really from them, it's through,
From the state?
from the state, come down. It's not, nothing to do with us, but they'll come down and inspect your property, and I'm sure it's gonna have to be completely rewired.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what you're asking for, I just don't think can be done. And, I know it can't be done in 90 days, and I think you understand that too, but I think Mr. Massey's giving you really good advice too, on this. Just, it can't, you know, you're gonna have to, you know, that's a lot of work to get done on these houses.
Have you considered by any chance, and it sounds to me like you've given this a lot of thought, have you considered just tearing these buildings down and selling the property? I know you say you have some storage things in there. If you tore the buildings down, I'm wondering, would you be able to get enough money to store them in a different location or something like that? I mean, you have some family tied to these properties. It's just an investment. Is that correct?
Yes, it's an investment, and you know, to go back from start to finish on a new house, you know, that's a lot of money also, you know.
Well, you might find a builder that will just build something on there for spec. Or, you know, in these days, the tiny houses are becoming very popular. And you could almost do a duplex or something on your places. Then you would have two incomes. I don't know if you know, if you've thought of that as an alternative, or if you've just so emotionally tied to these that you're prepared to spend a lot of money and still not have anything worth the money. But if you tore it down, just had the vacant lot, somebody might buy that. You know, people these days are sending I imagine everybody gets a letter every other day saying, boy, we'd like to buy your property. You just give us a call and we'll take it off your hands, just as it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess Mr. Hayes, this ain't a fun position to be in right here. It's not, and I hate being in it, but I don't. You know, you've owned these property 20, 30 years, and nothing's been done to these properties. I don't think 90 days is going to fix this problem. I'd be more than happy to listen to the board on anything else, but my vote is we move forward and get these houses down.
Yeah, and I agree. I've seen both of these properties, and I hate to see you lose your money, because that's what you'll be doing. Because it'll take quite some time to get these to where the building inspector will walk in and say, this is something that I approve. Because you got to go through electric committee, you got to get electricians, you got to get sheetrockers. I mean, it's a long process, and in 90 days, you'll still be required to get. So I'm agree with the mayor, because I don't want to put you in a position where you lose your money.
Yeah.
And you probably be proud long run that after you look at it, that these are gone. So I'm gonna have to agree with the mayor that this is something that unsavable.
It's really in the best interest.
Is there any other discussion?
I just don't think you could put enough money in it to get your value back. You would be upside down, because the way it sits now, you're gonna have you're gonna have to have, quite a bit of demo work done that's gonna cost money, before you could even start back. So, you know, I don't see you coming up with a value that would supersede the cost. And that's nothing personal. That's just looking at the property, you know, as a business. It's just not, there's not a value there, that would justify rehabbing.
Andy, what would we need to move forward?
Well, you would have two choices. One, I wouldn't want the city to make half of the determination today. If you were to grant any additional time, I would ask simply that the board continue this hearing to, say, the second meeting in July, and consider it at that time. If you're not inclined to grant additional time, then hear the chief out as to why this property is uninhabitable. We would then issue, the chief and I and Mr. Harrison will work together to put a written finding, to send that to him with an order to demolish. Give him X amount of time to demolish. That might be 90 days. And if he has not, then the board, after that date, would have the ability to bid that and we would demolish. And I would suggest 90 days.
I mean,
And the cost of that
let me
goes
make-
on his taxes.
That's
Is that correct?
let me make one comment that might sum up some of the things you're saying. If the board were to give a 90-day extension to put roofs on both of the house and maybe a few more things, keep in mind, Mr. Hayes, I haven't been inside either of those houses, but I think both of them had fires, and with holes in the roof, you've also lost roof trusses and everything. So I would dare say, just to put the roofs on the house, on both those houses, you're probably talking at $20,000. I don't know if you got price on roofing and construction materials and everything like that, but you're talking about $20,000. And then after you got that done, you wanted more time to get the rest of the work done. And I would think a fair amount would be an additional 9 months, because the building permit's only good for 6 months. So you'd have to get somebody in. So, and like what Randy said, you could spend $20,000 putting roofs on those houses, and 6 months will fly by like that. You hadn't done anything, and you'll be right back here. And then they could vote to tear it down, and you've lost that $20,000 on those 2 roofs.
Yeah.
So, and I mimic everything everybody said here. I don't think it's the intent of anybody to take anybody's property for them or something like that. But sometimes it just comes down to where it's a business decision, and it's your business, and I'm not trying to tell you your business. I'm just trying to throw a little information out there, because I've been involved for several years with some rehab projects in different communities, and I've seen these prices that these roofs are charging now. And it's going to be different than just going and getting some shingles and getting some guys to put it up there, because you got to do some structural work on both those before you put a roof on it. So, John, you've done a lot of construction work. Would you say 20,000 would be a, who knows?
It'd have to go all into decking.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but, so what, to move forward on this, Andy, not the extension, what do we need, a motion? What do we need?
Someone to make a motion that these properties are deemed uninhabitable. And then we will post the property accordingly, issue a order, and as part of your motion, it could be, you give him 90, 100, 120, however many days to demolish the property. And if it's failed to do that, it will be back on your agenda.
And then in saying that, also, he would have 30 days to appeal this
That's correct.
decision
Let me give you that.
to the Chancery Court.
60 days.
Huh?
That's 60 days.
60 days.
And if he appeals it, is there a cost? Is there a cost then involved in appealing it? He'd have to have an attorney, pay an attorney?
Not
Not
necessarily.
necessarily.
He can do it. Maybe do it. He filed a petition with the Chancery Court. And there
I'll
will
make
be
it motion.
costs.
We have a motion made by Mr. Massey. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have any other discussion?
Randy, I believe y'all's argument has changed my mind, so I'm with you.
We have a motion, Mr.
Are we, Is this on both of the properties?
Yes.
Okay.
This is for 314 Moreno Street and 531 East Woodard Street.
Correct.
We have a motion made by Mr. Massey, and we have a second by Mrs. Miles. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Massey, Miles,
Aye.
Worsham, Keith,
Aye.
Bryant,
Aye.
Brindley.
Aye. Thank you for being here, Mr. Hayes. Next person up is Mr. Robert Robertson. Thank you for being here, Mr. Robertson. Chief, you want to just
Okay, the properties here in question on is gonna be 535 Bird Street, 518 Jones Street, and then the ones, the two mobile homes over on Pine Street. So the one on Bird Street and Jones Street, where we left off is that Terry would go take a look at them because he had a desire to rehab those two mobile homes. And I think Terry and John Green went and looked at those and
Yeah, we went and met at Jones Street, and John and I went, and Joel Robinson with the PD was there, and he had a couple of his workers there, and he has cleaned up around the property, weeded it, and mowed the grass, and so he's done he put some effort there. We went in the home, and it's rough. But the question was, could it be rehabbed? The answer is yes, it could be. It's got a central air unit. Looks like it hadn't run for a while. They've got some carpet they're going to put down. The windows at the north end of the property need to be worked on. He said he's got a glass cutter and he can do that type of work. So, keep in mind that sometimes if we look at a piece of property, maybe you wouldn't want to put you and your wife in there, but it can be a rental piece of property. So, if he decided to rehab that property, it would be rough. I mean, I think.
Did you go in that property?
We did. We went in that piece of property.
And this is what address?
That's Jones Street.
518 Jones.
Now, he could make it look a lot nicer if he put a coat of paint on it. I think a lot of the problems that people are having with a lot of these pieces of properties is the curbside appeal to them. When you drive by, what does it look like? And I think you even realize that trailer from the outside is not the best looking trailer in town. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but it's the better one I got for it running. I mean, I can't.
Yeah. But anyway, he hadn't had anybody in there a while. And he had some workers there and they were gonna lay some carpet and do some stuff. But could it be fixed up and somebody living in it? Yes. Unless he paints outside, it's gonna, like I said, he cleaned up the outside yard, mowed the grass, weed eated, and it looks a lot better than what it did. We were traveling up to the Birch Street property, and one of his workers made the statement, "You don't want to go in there, there's fentanyl in there." And so we said, well, if there's fentanyl in there, we don't want to go in there. Now, we did peek in the windows. It's probably in better shape on the inside from what we could see than the Jones Street property. The outside, it could use pressure washing, clean up everything. The back porch might be a little conditioned with doing that, but once again, he's got the ability to do those type of things. But we did not go on that piece of property because we were told that there might be an issue with fentanyl in there.
Yeah, I think he was just speculating.
Do we back up and vote? I mean, do we need to back up and vote on this Jones Street? Because all these are going to be separate. If our building inspector is saying that one of them can be saved, do we need to act on this Jones Street first and then consider Birch Street? And then how does that need to work?
I would. Your initial decision is the property uninhabitable? Or can it be made habitable at a reasonable cost?
I say, I don't see a problem with that. I can build a house from the ground up.
So Jones Street, on 518 Jones Street, can you have that, Mr. Robertson, completed in 90 days?
I'm pretty sure I can.
Including the code.
That's
It might be completed in the next 2 or 3 days.
Sure, and that's fine. But within 90 days, do you feel confident that you can have it painted, the inside rehab, that there's power on, it's up to code, everything's, it's a lot more presentable where it is. Terry would have to, our building inspector would have to go back out and inspect it. But if you feel good with that.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Like I said, I got guys who's ready to go to work right now.
Okay. You know, the board, open to anybody, but if you want to give him 90 days, because what our building inspector says it can be saved. You know, my recommendation is to do what the building inspector says.
I make a motion that we are doing this for.
I would suggest you continue it to the second meeting in July and leave everything just the way it is.
Okay.
And see what he produces.
But if we don't, we come back that second
And
meeting in
these things are
July.
not done.
Yeah, I just don't want it to be a surprise, you know, at all on that.
And on the second house, I'd defer to the chief or Angie. What if there is fentanyl in there? I mean.
Yeah, what about cleaning up drugs and things like that? That's,
I don't know if that's something we had knowledge of before the other day that Dr. said. He said that was pure speculation on their part. I mean, there ain't nothing that we've been able to substantiate that there's any reports we've had. I think there might have been a deceased person that was in that residence, and I don't know if that was the use of that was involved. I'm not sure, but that may be where that's stemming from. But for it to be contaminated per se with fentanyl, there's nothing to substantiate that, and that would certainly, him being the owner of the trailer, then it would be his responsibility to make sure that that was rendered safe, would it not, Andrew?
It would, if an officer or city personnel is injured inside your house, you'll be liable for that.
So, but.
How do we test?
Yeah.
He's been in there 20 more times, he said already, and he's standing here looking fine today.
I'd send John up there for about 3 or 4 days and let him spend the night. If he don't get sick, I'll be comfortable.
But all jokes aside, what do we do here? I mean, is this, you didn't go in it, did you? Okay, so we don't, you know, does he have to get this thing cleaned for us to inspect it? I mean, how do we, I don't want to, you know, I'm not supposed to speak for the building inspector, but I'm just trying to make some logic sense here. What do we do? How do we get in there? What can we do?
and the fentanyl, just someone talking about the fentanyl, I think it behooves us to find out. And how do you test a facility for that? Do you have to get the health department involved, or is there?
Yeah, I don't blame you for not going in.
Hazmat, yes, there.
Well, first of all, let me make sure I understand everything. He owns the trailer, and the first he'd ever heard of was some the people was of him made that comment. There's nothing to substantiate that. We certainly wouldn't take it upon ourselves to try to reach that. Wouldn't be our responsibility to find somebody to go in to determine if it contained any hazardous material. That's going to be part of his so-called 90 days to get started. That's all inclusive to get it ready and ready to be presentable, that it's already been in there and rehabbed and painted and whatever needs to be done on the inside would include that.
Now, let me clarify to make sure you understand. I didn't pick this information up off the street. It was one of his workers told me that there was fentanyl in there.
I know. And that
when we were at the property.
Right. But
That's correct, John?
So once again, though.
John wouldn't get out the truck.
Did you have any knowledge of that having fentanyl, containing fentanyl or anything affiliated with it before the other day?
Were they making it?
Like I said, he's probably just talking. I don't know.
And you've been in there. Once again, I mean,
Were they making fentanyl? Were they just smoking?
We don't know. We don't know.
That, yeah, it concerns me that we would say, okay, sure, you can fix this up and you can rent it out. That's good. But we don't know. I mean, there's nothing. What if somebody gets sick?
Excuse me, I'm gonna go through the whole 9 yards, make sure everything's fine anyway.
To have it tested or something?
Whatever, whatever it takes. before I turn it loose.
Yeah.
So part of the 90
Okay,
days,
okay.
would come back the second week in July, then Robert would have, Ms. Robinson would have a letters from somebody saying that this trailer is fit for human to be occupied in.
John,
That's what.
are there test kits that your personnel might use when they go in the facility, that there was suspicion of fentanyl? How would they enter a piece of property?
That would be on.
They got test.
I'm talking about if the law enforcement was called out on a different situation, how would they handle it?
Well, I mean, if there was something substantiated, it wouldn't have had to back off and call in the state or whatever to go in and handle it like they would with meth or anything else. But I mean, we have test kits to test the substance itself, but as far as it being exposed to furniture, or any carpeting or whatever that could be in there, you know, I mean, that's like looking for a haystack with a needle in it.
You tearing out all the carpet anywhere, you put in new carpet, gonna paint all the walls and everything of that nature.
How long has it been since somebody lived in that trailer?
It's been, over a year. What happened, I got hold to some bad running, I shut them down.
I would suggest that you have the building ready for an inspection. Contact the city before the second week of July. And the city will determine whether they wish to go in and inspect or not based on how it appears. If it looks suspicious, don't count on them inspecting.
Oh, if it looks suspicious, I wouldn't be in it.
Joe, let me ask you, or Joel, the meth task force, is that something that the state would come in and they have any kind of process?
That only applies with the meth and methamphetamine. We would quarantine, if we found one that had a lab and everything, we would quarantine that property. And that would be filed at the courthouse as a quarantine. Now, fentanyl is a totally different story. It's only gonna be absorbed to the skin. So if you had the proper protective equipment on and cleaned up, the property should be okay. But therefore, meth is totally different as to fentanyl. But like I said, it's absorbed through the skin, and as long as you have your proper protective equipment on, gloves, things of that nature, that property should be able to be cleaned okay. But on the meth side though, you would, if it was deemed as a quarantine property, you'd have to have it inspected, have a letter from the state, from that company releasing the quarantine before it could ever be released.
Yeah, there was a piece of property within the city that I'm familiar with, and it was a meth lab. And I know they did quarantine the property for a while.
Yes, I'm aware of the property was still quarantined, and it's been that way for the last several years because it's never been properly released.
Rob, could you come back the second week in July like we asked with the other one, and have both of them ready just for the building inspector to inspect, and I mean just paint it, cleaned up, everything, just ready to go, ready to move around or in.
Yeah, me personally, I say it should be on board. That's how I like to keep going around on this.
I would suggest the inspection occur before the second meeting in July. Have it ready for inspection by the end of June.
Okay. The attorney hear that? The attorney said he would suggest that you have it ready for inspection by the end of June. Is the board good with that?
I am. We have a motion.
I got a motion. I'll make a motion that.
I think you're gonna do like you did the other one and just continue with this.
Andy wants to give him for you to inspect it 2 weeks before.
Okay. You want the board to vote on that, Andy, or just continue?
It would be a continuation from our. I let the board vote on the continuation, in terms of the continuation.
Yeah.
We'll make a motion for the continuation for how long, 90 days?
The second meeting in July.
So the second meeting in July.
90 days.
I'll second that.
But it's gonna be predicated on the inspection prior to that date, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, this action will actually be for both of these properties, because we didn't vote on the first one. That's what we said we were gonna do, so is your motion good for both of these?
Both these properties, if that's okay.
We have a motion made by Mr. Bryant and Jude, second, Ms. Miles.
I will.
Okay. We have a second by Mrs. Miles. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Massey,
Aye.
Miles.
Aye.
Worsham.
Aye.
Keith.
Aye.
Fine. Brindley.
Aye. Thank you, Mr. Robertson. Well, now we got one more. My bad.
Okay.
Pine Street.
On those two, our action is to be ready for inspection by end of June and continuation before this board, the second meeting in July. Okay.
Just know when that day comes, we expect it. The next we have Pine Street, trailer court.
Okay, those two, there's two mobile homes on that parcel right there. I think it's left out of everything you've got. On Monday, Mr. Robinson suggested he could rehab one and make storage out of the other one, which the storage wouldn't fit that's under the cement accessory or whatever it would be. But the other trailer, I don't think there's been any visual inspection on the inside of it because I think it was the consensus, wasn't it, Terry, Monday? That
I think it was consensus of the board, they wanted both of those gone.
Yeah.
Both of those.
And you've got that file in front of you as well.
Yeah, the Pine Street, we have a lot of calls about Pine Street, as we said the last meeting, and again, listen to the board and their opinions on it. But my opinion would be that those trailers there be completely all moved out, all of them.
What type of call do you have?
About how one, the traffic going in and out of there. Two, how bad they look. Even if you don't know there's traffic going out of there, there's traffic going in and out of there. They're abandoned properties that haven't been anybody in them, and they look terrible. And they're not safe for people running around out in the neighborhood. It's, they've been abandoned. They have not been taken care of.
Well, there's nobody that lives there.
Yeah. Just because nobody lives there don't mean people's not going in them. Those are rough properties, but again, you know where I stand on that.
Was that property was originally for a trailer court?
It was. And then.
And you have to have inhabitable properties on that in that trailer court.
All of them have to be, if it's part of the trailer.
And neither one of those are inhabitable.
And it's now been broken down into addresses 209 and 211 Pine Street. Those are the two addresses.
I think so. Yes.
And so
That's just one parcel.
the proposal that the city is making is that each of these be properly marked as uninhabitable and ordered to be removed in 90 days.
And if you want to expound on the fact, because I guess there's some grandfathering on that, and so if those were removed, if he didn't go back and put at least 2 good mobile homes in it within 1 year, he would lose that grandfather.
That's right. And so within 1 year, if you've abandoned the use of this property for more than 1 year, and this is being used as a mobile home park. Now that requires 8.5 acres if you were to do a new mobile home park. And there aren't many places in Pulaski where you can put a mobile home park. But if you lose the ability, if you don't put 2 mobile homes, there's got to be a park. Within the next year, you will lose the ability to make that a mobile home park. So just understand.
And you're are talking about 2 inhabitable.
2 inhabitable, that's right. And it could be 3, 4, 5, just it has to be more than 1 to make it a park.
Well, I feel like something's really getting out of hand, Chuck. I mean, I put a lot of money in already, and
There's not a lot of money in there.
something saying, yeah, I put a lot of money in.
Maybe over one.
But I think they've been abandoned, no one's lived in them for years, so have
I
they?
mean, not particularly those 2, I'm talking about the whole.
I'd like to make a motion that we
Have them removed.
condemn those 2 trailers.
We have a second.
I second that.
We have a second from Mr. Massey. Any other discussion?
And by what day do you want them to have those removed? The second meeting in July.
Same as we.
I think you said earlier they would have 90 days.
They would.
And 60 days to go to the appellate court.
That's right.
So-
And that would be 60 days from today. The day's the action that the board has taken. So you got 60 days to take it. if you wish to.
And you can remove those and put some real nice mobile homes in there. That way you keep your mobile home trailer park status. Because I'm pretty sure when they put that, when that was done, that was not an R4 neighborhood. That's an R3. What would you say it's an R3 neighborhood?
When they were put there, there wasn't no zoning.
Yeah.
But they've been there at least 50 years. Yeah. Because you almost over me, aren't you?
We have a motion by Mr. Bryant and we have a second by Mr. Massey. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Massey,
Aye.
Miles,
Aye.
Worsham, Keith,
Aye.
Bryant,
Aye.
Brindley.
Aye. Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Item number 12 is old business. I know we have one thing on here, Mr. Keith.
Yes. Let me get back in the game here. About 5.5 months ago, we proposed a moratorium on billboards and electronic signs for 6 months, and that expires at the end of this month. I'd like to propose that we extend that, and I talked to Andy yesterday just briefly that we can do this, but we'll still have to, because it was done by ordinance, we'll have to do it again by ordinance for 2 readings, but add a 60-day extension. And the reason is we've worked through the sign ordinance and we're getting real close on it, but we're adding a piece dealing with murals on the side of buildings, and we'll ultimately have to handle that as public art as opposed to signs. So we're kind of splitting those hairs. So and because it'll take 2 readings to pass the sign ordinance, we're gonna extend this for 60 days if we can, if we take that action today. But the proposal is to extend the moratorium for 60 days by ordinance.
Do you take a motion?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Quick draw. Massey, vote by motion and second by Mrs. Miles.
And just as a point of progress, we have come through this sign ordinance a long way and covered a lot of bases, and there's so many parts and pieces to it that
Very time consuming going through it because you've got several members and you're going through it and they're getting everybody's opinion. So, hats off to the members of the planning commission, the work they did this, because, they've been coming in and sitting there for sometimes 2 or 3 hours working through this.
twice a month.
They put in a lot of time.
If there's no other discussion, roll call vote.
Massey,
Aye.
Miles,
Aye.
Worsham,
Aye.
Keith,
Aye.
Bryant, Brindley.
And one other point of order, do we need a public hearing for that also, Andy?
We should.
Okay.
Let's do that.
So let's set a second public hearing for the same day, 4/23, at 12:10.
Yes.
Okay.
Gotcha. Any other old business?
I don't know if he was going to.
How do we do this right
Well,
now? And-
let me just give y'all an update. He owns, or he is a partner in a piece of property up on North 3rd Street. There was confusion about the address, whatever. He was wanting to get a variance that would allow him to put back in another mobile home or a stick built house in the same footprint. He went for the Board of Zoning Appeals. There was some discussion about how long that variance would last. We had a little difference of opinion. I suggest they go and research. I contact and recess. I contact Mr. Hoover. He said that we did have the right, or y'all did have the right, to set a time limitation. He wanted 3 years. I said, I don't think that's intent of the board to wait 3 years. They want something done. And he said, I've looked at the cost of moving it out, this, that, and the other. I'll just rehab it. So the Board of Zoning Appeals took no action. He came to my office and bought a building permit. So he's done kind of what y'all done today, but very much sooner. So I don't think there's any action that can be taken on that piece of property today. With y'all agreements, I mean, y'all do what you want to, but it'd be my recommendation. He's already bought a building permit to rehab it. He does plan on replacing the porch, replacing the underpinning, painting outside. He's gonna do some work on the inside. So, and this one's not as bad as the others we looked at. So I think he could do that in a, he'll have 6 months to do it. And I mean, if he gets on it, he could be done in 30 days.
Refresh my memory, and where?
North Third.
This one's a tricky one because it wasn't the right address and we didn't have the
Exactly.
right of us. So
Right.
we'll go, and it's easy to mess up the address. So it's very easy. But, I think we'll go along with what Mr. Harrison said on this one, just because we didn't have what we needed in front of us.
So you said don't take any action. Do the board need to make a motion? Do we need to do anything?
I don't think he took any action before. He's took it on himself to come up with some solutions, and he bought a building permit. So he's really done what you've asked the other people to do without you taking any formal statement. So, I'm looking at this as it's y'all's goal to get these properties either rehabbed or removed. So regardless how we get it done, if we get it accomplished, that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So he's done his part, so I don't think y'all need to take any action.
Yeah, I'm good.
And let me give you an analogy. We also had Mr. Vandiver here at the work session, and he accommodated the board with what your wishes were. So we didn't even have him come back today. And so Mr. Zimmerly came back because there was an issue. I think the photograph that went with your property was actually the mobile home next door.
It was next door.
And that is going to be on your work session next week. Different on. Okay.
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 And he's already bought a building permit?
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's what, 6 months building
We're
permit,
talking about this.
and then he can renew it? So we're looking at maybe 3 years for him to
Now,
get in.
what advantage, they said they were gonna get a building permit?
I think he brought in some new pictures where he had fixed 2 or 3 of the windows and was putting another one on. I don't remember what he said about a building permit.
Is that the one beside it?
No, this is the one up on, Washington. Had the photographs on that had been, photographs of several broken windows. He came in bringing photographs of.
Oh, that's the house on East Washington, yes.
Yeah, right down below those rock apart.
But not
No.
his.
Not his. No, it's not his.
And actually, I remember we looked at that because I think Joey said that several years ago it had a fire inside, a grease fire, and we didn't go inside the house, but on the outside of the house, it actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, right.
So we didn't take no action on that today.
Well, what we did tell him was that he was to appear again in July. We give him 90 days to repair and appear again in July.
He was, yeah, and he was to submit a
That's what we got in
building
our
permit
minutes.
and be back in July.
Great.
But he ain't got.
He hasn't gotten, I'm just, that's what I'm
I
saying.
need to remind him.
And
I will.
And my whole, and we need to, I want to talk about this in our work session next Monday. My whole goal is, and I think it needs to be all of our goal, we shouldn't be, we don't have to be sitting here doing what we're doing. We need our building inspector or whoever to be handling this before it comes to this point from now on. I mean, we've got to get those lists, get them in this office and get going. I think people see that we're serious about these properties and we want to clean up Pulaski and Giles County, but we're focused on getting these properties taken care of. But we're going to have to really step up our game as well on this. Anything else under old business? Mr. Smith, was you want to say something? And Andy, how does that work? I know we just passed a new deal for.
We can, motion to suspend the rules and do you.
All right.
So moved.
All right, so moved. Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
Mr. Mayor and members of the council, let me give you a compliment first. I appreciate you all taking the bull by the horn regarding the properties, because you're not the only one. I can go 30 miles somewhere else and show you a building that used to be a funeral home and it's still standing and ought to be torn down for various reasons. It's a health hazard, number one. And then there's another fellow who just sold some property for $700,000. He's probably got 6 rental houses that your dog wouldn't want to live in. So there's some tough things. When I looked at the list, there are 5 pieces of property that, to me, that has potential. So I would encourage maybe Mayor Brindley and Brother Massey, and that fellow there, Terry Harrison, to form an advisory council to encourage the redevelopment of properties, because people need affordable housing. And talking about trailer parks, I grew up with that. The livelihood of a trailer, I forget it so many, but people need affordable housing. I can think of 5 people, not from here. They'd be tickled to death to get any one of these properties, and they wouldn't have to borrow the money, but they would redevelop it and guarantee you that it would be duplex, 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 duplex. And in a trailer court, the thing about it, you have to grandfather sometimes, because if a unit goes out and you put another in. So don't play the game of, well, it didn't meet this. No. That trailer park was probably there before some of the houses were built. I could be wrong, but I want to commend you. Now, the last thing is, I just wonder, is there any other properties within the city limits that could fall in the same category? And the reason I'm saying it, there is a landowner in Lincoln County.
Well, let me stop
that
you there.
rents houses
Mr. Smith,
on
Mr.
Washington.
Let me say something here. We got how many? 60 on the list?
80.
Oh, I'm sorry.
80. We got 80 on the list. It's just our
That-
first
that's
step.
right. But anyway, just give
We
you
got a
something to
lot,
think
we
about.
got a lot going, and you're
I
talking about
just
those
give you
lots.
some-
We're,
just give you
we
something to
want,
think about.
we want duplexes and things to come
All
on.
right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we got anything else under old business? All right, anything under new business?
Can I say one thing? It's back up to old business. Since we're talking on about abandoned property, I wish, because Terry said that the gentleman that owns Sonics has come and got a demolition permit to demolish all them houses, all them apartments.
I didn't say that. The guy that owned, or the people that own Sonic had bought the old Windsor Motel on the corner. I was contacted by a engineer architect firm, and they're wanting to extend their parking area to the north. And I was working through some particulars, because part of one of the lots zoned C3 and others C2. And I said, well, to cut that off and add it to that lot, you need to come in for plan commission with a minor subdivision. And so they're planning on cutting that off, demolishing part of it, and extending their garage. And I think it's their intent is put the rest of the property up for sale. So he was just the engineer architect working on this and working through the particulars of how to get it done. So there's fixing to be some action taken. But once again, that was architect engineer. Once they get back to the clients and look at costs and everything else, it could change. But Randy did call me and ask me about that, and I was privy to this information, so I was passing that along to him, that I think there's gonna be some action on that piece of property in the very near future.
Yeah, that's why I got it there. I wish he would come and tell us, or you, when he's playing the windows. Have you looked at those?
They look terrible.
I mean, they're terrible. They should have done been tore down.
It looked like that for 20 years.
And that car wash that they're using up there, the back of it is about to fall in too.
Only good thing on that piece of property, they got a nice big billboard sign.
Yeah, and I wish he would come and let you know how long those gonna sit there. You know, and what he planning on taking action, because those need to be gone ASAP too. But they're all in very, very bad shape. That's all I want to add.
But anyway, I think with the fact that I got that phone call, and it was just week before last week, excuse me, that I got that call out of the blue. So it looks like something's gonna happen there.
I have just one thing I would just like to inject here, and perhaps we could talk about this at some length. You talk about things being grandfathered in. It strikes me, grandfathers don't live in perpetuity.
I'm
And
fine
it's-
with it.
And it seems to me like, I'm a grandmother, so I know you don't live, you're not gonna live in perpetuity. I think that we need to define, in our ordinances, exactly how long grandfather is. If something is I mean, you just can't go on and on and on, having some unsightly, uncared for, or something that just is not fitting any longer. It's time maybe at some point you get it grandfathered in, and then it's certain time, like in 8 years, whatever. Then by then you have to bring whatever your property is up to code, has to meet today's standards. That's my suggestion, and we may think about that and perhaps talk about it later.
That's something we put on the work session.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's a good idea, Ms. Johnson. Anything else under new business? If not, we'll stand as adjourned, and we will open the beer board up. We have 2 items on here. One is to consider the premises consumption beer permit for Margarita's Mexican Restaurant, 181 on Bree Avenue. Mr. Harrison?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the old Perkins restaurant out there that they're, thank goodness we're getting another Mexican restaurant, so, and that their application is in order.
I move to approve this permit.
All right, got a motion made by Mr. Mattson,
Second.
second by Mrs. Miles. Is there any other discussion? None, roll call vote.
Massey,
Aye.
Miles,
Aye.
Worsham,
Aye.
Key,
Aye.
Bryant,
Aye.
Brindley.
Aye. The next item is consider application for special event permit for Jack Pfeiffer / Kitchen 218 for May 18th, 2024.
And this is in conjunction with the parade permit you just had, that y'all just passed for the speed bed / Kitchen 218 on that day, and it's in order also.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
We have a motion by Mr. Bryant and a second by Mr. Worsham. Is there any other discussion? If not, roll call vote.
Massey,
Aye.
Miles,
Aye.
Worsham,
Aye.
Key,
Aye.
Bryant,
Aye.
Brindley.
Aye. It stands adjourned.
One announcement, retirement party for John Mitchell is this Friday, 2 to 4.
Correct. Thank you.
Thank you for reminding us. You guys